Say it again.
Tremaine Williams. I'm nervous. This is my notebook. All right, this one, I did this on respiratory regulations, 1910.134. This one's personal to me too because I'm asthmatic, so I take this serious. And what it basically told me is that everyone needs to wear masks for protection. The mask must protect from possible contaminants in the area. And the employee needs to be aware of any possible breathing contaminants and protect all employees on the work site. Also, employees must be given training on proper use of the mask. I'm not too bright, don't ask me too many questions, all right, so. So just wear your mask, PPEs, and protect yourself.
Did you go into the type of mask, the type of work that's being done?
Yes. No, I didn't. No. But I used the mask with the yes, respirator.
The canister.
Yes, I always do that.
Okay.
I had one time I was working in the basement and I had no mask on. A week later, I had walking pneumonia. So it's serious to wear a mask for me. I mean, for everybody, protect yourself. You know.
One of the things that you want to be cognizant of when you wear the mask, when you wear the respirators, this is for everyone. When you wear those respirators, make sure you get fit tested. There's a fit test and there's a medical clearance that you have to have. I'll pass around my cards as well for that type of clearance. And Clarity does it, they're out of Elmsford, and it's fairly, I wouldn't say cheap, but they give all types of discounts for groups, you know? So the more you have, the better the discount it is. Now, once you go for that clearance, that fit testing, you said you're asthmatic, they would hone in on that. The person who owns the Clarity, if I remember correctly, his name is Dr. John Haggard. And he started it years ago. He was asthmatic. And so they actually come to the job sites and do these types of medical clearances, fit testing, and stuff like that. They're called Clarity testing. So as asthmatic, when you come there, and you, first of all, you gotta be clean shaven and stuff. So for those who want to wear beards and stuff, make sure it's gone. There's no goatees or nothing because you have to have a positive fit. But you'll be put on a treadmill if you go through the whole regimen that they have set up. They'll put you on a treadmill, they'll put monitors on your heart, your vital organs and stuff, and have you to run with a hood on as you're on that treadmill. And you're holding on if you're asthmatic or if you have heart conditions or anything of that nature. And so what they do, and he's a cardiologist as well, so he knows the things that implement to help us, you know, do certain things. Once you put that hood on, and if you go through the full regimen, which what I did and a few other people, you'll be put on that treadmill, you'll put the hood on, they'll be spraying different types of things into that mask. And you'll be reacting to it. They want you to react to it. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? And so the mask, the hood is to a degree that you're supposed to smell to certain levels. It's identified outside. You can't identify it. It's identified outside the hood and the instruments. Your heart is being monitored and so on. And so then there's a wind down period. And then you're checking your heart, your lungs, how you breathe, and stuff like that. 2 days later, within 48 hours, you get a medical clearance letter or you'll be denied that medical clearance. But once you get that clearance, they'll tell you you have full face, half face. I'll show you my cards as well. Full face mask, half face mask. I also wear a self-contained breathing apparatus for you know, real areas of engulfing. So I could breathe fresh air through this unit. So these are the things that you want to consider for everyone here, actually, because I believe everyone is in the construction arena and stuff. you want to consider having that clearance, that type of clearance, and it lasts, it works. They know what they're doing, they tell you exactly what types of masks to get. And I just want to put this out there. Don't go and depend on the particle masks to protect you. You put on those paper masks. So don't depend on that. If you haven't been told that this is for this, you know, the particle mask is just the particles. You're still taking toxins and different types of toxicities and cancer-causing agents. You know, those carcinogens is very prevalent in the air at all times, even what we're breathing in now. So you'll have to be careful with that. But overall, anybody got questions for him? Okay, you got a question for me? Good job.
I was nervous.
Well, if you're denied the medical clearance, they recommend not only do you not have the medical clearance, but that you do not attempt to do any type of work that would expose you to, you know, harmful substances and things of that nature. And you could also get second opinions and everything. But once they give you that doctor's letter of no clearance, serious impact or whatever, then you have that to present to the next physician that you go see to obtain, you know, that type of credential. I'm gonna find my credentials now, and so y'all guys will know what you're looking at out there. Did I bring it with me today?
It's usually in this one.
Okay, you may be right.
That's where you pulled it out yesterday.
I know. It's not there today. I left it. Wow, I'm so sorry. Yeah, let me double check. Well, in the meantime, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Wilmer Portfian. Working with 29 CFR 1926. Kind of follow up on the masks. I went on with PPE. Just a quick note, I was in ground zero, so I was fitted for a mask, and yes, I had to shave. They did run me through some tests to wear a mask. I spent, I don't know, from September 18th to December 3rd in the pit. So yeah, it's serious enough to think that a regular mask doesn't work, and they did a lot of air quality tests that people don't realize, and they still do today. So you go down there, you see them walking around doing air quality tests, and people don't know why, because they're doing comparisons to what had happened prior to 9/11. And so that's been an additional mandate that's been added. But a lot of sites, things that happened with the bombing and in the Midwest, the federal building. So that's a big thing that goes on. But the application says 29 CFR 1926.95, protective equipment, including personal protective equipment for eyes, face, head, and extremities, protective clothing, respiratory devices, protective shields and barriers, shall be provided and used and maintained in a sanitary and reliable condition, wherever it is necessary by reason of hazardous of process or environment. Chemical hazards, radiological hazards, mechanical irritants encountered in a manner capable of causing injury or impairment in the function of any part of the body through absorption, inhalation, or physical contact. Now, with that standard, ANSI created a standard for equipment itself. The equipment, it's hand in hand with OSHA standard. Eye and face protection is ANSI Z87.1 1989, which has to do with goggles, face shields, shatterproof glasses, masks, and different respirators. Head protection, ANSI Z89.1 1986 of the year. Helmets with electrical protection of different voltages. Most people don't realize, you go get a helmet, they have different levels of protection for contact. So every helmet's not the same. So you may say, all right, I'm getting a $100 helmet, safety helmet. It may look nice, but it may not protect you anything above 600 volts. So most people don't realize that. Also from falling debris, some helmets have a mesh what happens is that mesh is rated for amount of force what can fall onto your head. Foot protection, ANSI C41.1 1991 are boots. Most people don't realize that ANSI boots, some have slip protection for oil resistance. Also electric protection, which is rated for you to be standing. That's what most of PSC&G kind of will use, and for debris penetration, meaning nails and other debris. The final standard, well, not standard, what's not a standard is gloves. So most people don't realize that, you know, gloves are a big thing for most workers, and there is no standard for gloves. So they just pretty much OSHA wants you to make sure that your employees are wearing gloves. Big thing, employers must provide PPE and train employees the proper use of PPE. That you would think is common sense, doesn't happen. Employers must perform inspections of PPE and verify the use of the PPE. That's another thing that does not happen. It's a big thing that doesn't happen. OSHA assists in the support and implementation of these standards, and that usually happens when you get in trouble, when you're getting fined. So, just a little story from my guys. I provide the glasses, the helmets. I tell them they have to wear the boots. I go out there, somebody's wearing sneakers. Where's your glasses? Your glasses are, oh, my glasses are, they're in my bag. Where's your helmet? My helmet's here. Oh, I can't find it. So as an employer, you're like under a lot of constraint to make sure these guys are wearing it. And then one day somebody's missing something that you didn't show up to the job site, like he said he was out of town. That's when something happens, and then, you know, you beat up for it. Quick story, a residential site, and most people don't realize how this applies. The site was permitted for somebody's building a house. The roof falls off the house. OSHA shows up. I never saw this before. The guy went through everybody. Everybody. Now, it wasn't my job site, so I was glad I wasn't on the job itself. He checked the plumber, the electrician, the HVAC guy. He went through the roofer, the GC, the owner. He went through everybody, and they stopped the job for like a month. And the guy couldn't believe that for a guy falling off the roof. Now, the guy just fell off the roof. He didn't die. I think he broke his leg, whatever. He didn't die, but, you know, OSHA really can hurt you. So, you know, for everything that we're learning today, you have to really think about everything you're going to do in the future, that you don't get jammed up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One thing I want to add to that, he said one person fell off the roof. So somebody called OSHA. By law, you're supposed to report.
No, it was reported because he went to a hospital, and it was reported as an incident.
Right.
That's what happened. It was serious enough to be reported.
Right, and so it was serious enough to be reported. That's
what happened.
That's what I was getting to as well. With one person, by law, you're supposed to report 3 hospitalizations or any fatality, right? But once you get to that hospital, it's like a gunshot wound or a knife wound or a fist fight. Once you get there and you was hurt on a construction site and there's something broke or that person lost consciousness, it's up to the owner or who's ever in charge at that time to call OSHA. And when they respond, they're not your friend. They're going to smile, they're going to laugh, they're going to joke with you, but they're there for root cause. And they're looking to point the finger. You know, and that was a good job. I like the detail to that. We need that. Any questions for me? Okay, good job. Another thing, I found the cards. I found the full face.